Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on producing a sketch map. Last time, we learned about drawing sketch maps. We defined their characteristics and purpose. Today, we will use what we learned last time to produce a sketch map of our own. I hope that you remembered to bring the right tools with you today. To remind you, you will need a pencil, an eraser, and several sheets of paper for this lesson. I will be demonstrating how to produce a sketch map, and then you will have the opportunity to create one of your own. I think that this lesson will be interesting and fun. Let us get started. As a review, students, please take a moment to brainstorm the relative merits and limitations of sketch maps. Make sure that you write your ideas down. Please begin, and I will see you again very soon.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Thank you, students. I hope you were able to remember some of the details from our last lesson. Let us discuss the relative merits and limitations of sketch maps together. Sketch maps can be very useful because they are produced quickly. This allows the geographer or surveyor to work very efficiently. They are also useful because they act as a guideline for later work. They are easily recognizable, and a geographer will be able to identify and understand the details on the map. Sketch maps have limitations, however. Sometimes they can be clumsy, meaning that they have been drawn inaccurately. Perhaps they contain too many details so that they cannot be used efficiently. Another limitation is that they are not drawn to scale, so they are not accurate representations of an area. Excellent work. Let us move on. We will now discuss the steps involved in making a good sketch map. Then we will follow the guidelines to create a sketch map of our own. The first step is to choose an area to sketch that is manageable for you. It must be easy for you and others to understand when the map is complete. Next, you must select the important frames of reference for the area. For example, you might want to sketch a village in relation to other villages, in which case the frame of reference is quite broad. Or you might wish to sketch a house in relation to a village, creating a smaller frame of reference. If you sketch a room in relation to a house, this is a very small frame of reference. Create a mental picture of the sketch map that you will make. Remember the features that you want to include in your sketch, and think about how to draw them in proportion to the map as a whole and to other features. Next, create the map's boundaries. Make sure that the boundaries will allow you to place features appropriately. Boundaries should be neither too broad nor too narrow. Once you have determined your boundaries, divide the edges horizontally and vertically to create a grid pattern. This will help you to position features as accurately as possible. These lines will be erased after you have completed the sketch, so be sure to use your pencil lightly when you draw them. Finally, once the map has been completed, you must annotate it by including important information such as a key to the symbols you use. I will now produce a sketch map for you to see. Please follow my steps carefully, students. First, I must create a mental picture of the area I am going to sketch. I have decided to draw a map of my friend's house in relation to the surrounding area and roads. Her house is situated on a piece of land near a river. There is a mud road leading from her house to a village. This road meets up with a perpendicular major road on the west side of the village. The frames of reference that I will use are the house in relation to the river, the village, and the major road. I will now draw the map's boundaries. Next, I will lightly trace in a grid pattern to help me position things properly. I am ready to begin my sketch map. Please watch carefully as the map is created on the screen. Now that I have finished my sketch map, I must make sure to create a key in the margin to identify the symbols that I have used. The wavy line represents the river. The square with a triangle represents my friend's house. The cluster of squares represents the village. The dotted line represents the mud road, and the solid line represents the main road. Now that we have covered the steps involved in producing a sketch map, it is time for you to try. Working individually, please produce a sketch map of an area familiar to you. Your teacher will assist you. Make sure that you use a pencil so that you can erase any mistakes. Have fun.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Excellent work, students. If you have not quite finished your map, you will have some time after the lesson to add further details. Remember, a sketch map needs to contain enough details to make it a useful reference, but not so many details that it becomes cluttered or confusing. It is not always easy to decide which features to include in a sketch map. This is the end of our lesson. We have discussed the steps involved in producing sketch maps, and you have practiced producing one of your own. This is also the end of our unit, which has focused on map use and map work. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.